Hello, fellow YouTubers, and welcome back to Disabled DM. I'm Driven D&D, and this is a video in my series Disabilities and RPGs. It's been a while since I've done one of these, mostly because I've already covered things I can relate to from direct personal experience. However, there are a few things I can relate to having dealt with other disabled people that I know. And just kind of what I've seen in RPGs is so today's topic I'm going to be discussing two disabilities that are pretty commonly used in RPGs, and that's being deaf and or mute. I've seen them done separately, I've seen them done together. So first, let's talk a little bit from my personal experience dealing with someone who's deaf. I know many people, all including myself, who have mild hearing loss. But I've also dated a lady that was totally deaf back in my past. So some things really strike me as being important at this. First off, there's the language barriers. They're not able to communicate as clearly unless you know something like sign language. And even with that, it's a lot of our language is based on how somebody said something, not particularly what words they use to say it. And that's really hard to convey if the person can't hear how you say it. In addition, there's everyday stuff. Think about trying to cross a street if you can't hit the motorcycle that's coming and don't see it right where you're at. You might step out into the street and they come swerving around the corner, and all because you couldn't hit the motor of the bike revving. So there's a lot of things that go into being deaf and how they communicate, and things they don't pick up on because they don't have it. Muteness or being mute is similar with the troubles of communicating. They often use sign language or have to write something out. I think they have it a little bit easier because they can hear, and most of them can understand and pick up on those nuances that people who are totally deaf miss. So, the ones I really have a lot of empathy are the ones who are both deaf and mute. That, to me, is really hard issue to deal with, and this is how I've often seen them used in RPGs. However, I don't see them playing out all the aspects of it. And part of what I mean by that is they'll be okay with using thieves' cant to communicate or writing something out as a form of communication. But I don't see the aspect that they don't hear the sounds of battle, they can't hear someone coming up behind them. Things like that are often overlooked in RPGs. And if you really want the authentic experience, which is why I would use a disability for a character in an RPG, then you really should play it as the character would be played if they actually had these issues, not just pick and choose what you like about an issue or what's convenient for you or the group. And that is part of why I've done this series, is to try to help people understand what it's really like. Because a lot of people don't know, they've never encountered it in their lives, or it's never been something that they really have personal experience with. So they don't research what it's like, or they don't talk to people who are deaf and ask them what it's like to be deaf. And a lot of people with disabilities don't mind telling any people what it's like. They want people to understand what they go through. Which is another reason I think it's so important that these things are included in our RPG hobbies, not just because people play that have these issues, but because it gives people who don't have these issues or exposure to it a chance to understand what it's really like. So I'm always interested in hearing what other people think. You can find my email below, along with my Facebook group, my Patreon page, my Twitter, just many ways to contact me on anything to do with RPGs. But this is particular subject with disabilities and RPGs and how characters can be played is something that's close to my heart. So I hope to hear from my viewers. I appreciate all the support I've been getting, my patrons and others who are working with me, who play in my sessions, who give me feedback on polls and questions I ask. I appreciate all that because that helps me serve the community better. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, and until next time, may the dice always roll in your favor.